Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to Gift of Healing TV. I'm Sara Jane, and I am delighted to be joined by my guest, author of Awaken to Life in a Meat Suit, Dorian Des Lauriers. Dorian, thank you so much for joining me today. For you to be sharing with us. It's lovely to have you.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure to be with you today.
Right, I'm going to share a little about Dorian, and then I'm going to get him to share a little bit more about himself. Dorian Des Lauriers is an author, artist, entrepreneur, retreat facilitator, and founder of the Chorotega Hotel, good, and Retreat Center in Montezuma, Costa Rica. Through decades of personal transformation, he has explored the profound connection between trauma, beliefs, consciousness, spirituality, and human potential. His memoir, Awaken to Life in the Meat Suit, The Journey to Find My Way, chronicles an extraordinary journey from childhood abuse and deep depression to healing, forgiveness, and awakening. Drawing from psychology, neuroscience, philosophy, spirituality, and his own lived experience, Dorian teaches that our beliefs, not our circumstances, shape the lives we experience. Today, he hosts transformational retreats that integrate meditation, breathwork, art, nature, and meaningful conversations to help others reconnect with who they truly are beyond the identities they create. It is so brilliant to have you here. And the extended title of this is How Our Beliefs Create Our Reality, Healing Trauma, Awakening Consciousness, and Finding Our Way Home. And yeah, 100% with this. Dorian, let's start by sharing a little about you. I know we've shared a bit in your bio, a little about you and how you came to write about life in a meat suit.
It came to me one day, literally. So my story is I grew up in an abusive childhood and lots of things happened to me. And how I dealt with that was to pretend it didn't happen and just keep everything inside. As my life went on, those things, I had a beautiful life, had a wonderful wife and family, and then I had a wonderful husband and family. But something was always off. And I never knew what it was. And I kept chasing things and thinking other people, like my wife didn't love me, my husband didn't love me, and all of these things. And then I worked myself into a depression. And then when you are depressed, my beliefs create my reality. So I believed I was lost. So I was very lost. And the more I believed that, the further lost I came. And the more I believed that I was worth less, I was worth less to me. And as I became worthless in my mind, my life continued to spiral. And so I went into a deep depression and didn't want to be anymore. And then a series of events of my life, I was crashing. And then the universe said, Dorian, go to Costa Rica. Literally, the voice said to me, Dorian, go to Costa Rica. So I did. I came to visit some friends who more associates. And I needed to leave them because, I wanted to explore. And I ended up in this little town of Montezuma, and then went back and decided I was going to come to Costa Rica to find some peace in my life because I knew I was killing myself back home. My life I was inflicting pain on myself in my life and blaming everybody in the world for it. It's what victims do. And then I came here and I took a residency in a treehouse for 2 tree houses for 5 months. Just me and the jungle, and let go of all the things and learn to control my inputs. So what I see, what I eat, what I hear, what I listen to, and the universe was very convincing. What I allow in becomes what I believe. And so I came here and then I started journaling. And I never journaled in my life. And then I started having these experiences and journaling more and more and more, and had just amazing experiences. And I thought my life was terrible. Here I was lost. And so I was feeling that. And then The universe showed me magic beyond belief. Oh my. I had wonderful experiences that I chronicle here in the book. So when I came to Costa Rica, my life changed. I stopped running my life. I started listening to the universe and the voice that guides us. We all have that voice. We just ignore it most of the time. So, and now I'm here. So what happened was I'm journaling, and then I'm having these experiences, and I'm feeling my growth and understanding more and having really profound experiences. And then it came to me, Dorian, share your story with people. And so I started painting here, and then I started changing this over and writing, taking my journal and converting that into a story of my transformation, which was wonderful. But I needed to fill in the backstory. And that was the hard part. That was when I went back to the 3-year-old to present to re-examine those things of my life. And it is in this process that I came to know fully that our beliefs create our experience. What I believe to be is true. Whatever that is true. Because I learned the meat suit, AKA my body, it learns who I am. And so it responds to what it thinks you are. And so what I believe I am, I don't even have to do anything because my eyes, my ears, my nose, my mouth, my skin, my heart is going to find that out in the world. Look, all data collection systems. Looking to find this. It'll filter out 1,000 things to show you the one that proves what you believe. That's the point of this. It's your guide, it's your means, it's your way, it's your life. It's how you experience life. This isn't who we are. It's my vehicle for experiencing what I am. So,
experiencing whatever you choose to experience.
I will experience everything, and how I feel about that is my choice. And I learned that. I was in the depths of my depression. I was sitting in my beautiful yard under the pergola, looking out at the pool and the trees and thinking, God, what a shit mess this place is. God, look at these. Why did I plant that? That's all overgrown. That thing doesn't look good there, and that paint's peeling there, and all this stuff's wrong. 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in the exact same chair, looking at the exact same scene, seeing the beauty of it all. Oh, look at the flowers and see the hummingbirds, and oh, look at the sunlight coming through that way. The only thing different was what was here and here. How I think and feel about myself lets me impact how I see my world. And so thinking I am nothing, I see what's terrible about the world. When my vibration is low and I'm in that negative state of being, the world is that way. And so as I say, so it shall be. Ask and you shall receive.
And that's just it, isn't it? I mean, Dorian and I met when we were introduced, and he became part of a book that I did. And so his chapter is in I Didn't Become Selfish, I Became Hard to Manipulate, which actually fits beautifully into what you're sharing, because that negative aspect of ourselves, that when we feel that negative about ourselves, some of us can go into anger mode, pity me mode, or they can go into, people pleaser mode. There are different modes we can go into to help us to cope with how we think other people see us. The problem is how we see us, potentially because of what other people have said and done and etc. So we have been shaped from early childhood. Things that have happened have shaped us, but we can reshape us, literally.
Fact, truth, my life, truth can be. It's just understanding that, just changing our beliefs. And so what happens as we go through life, people tell us things about us, but more importantly, it's about the energy. And so when mom and dad are polite to us, but don't love each other, we absorb that energy. Their words are nice, But what my being absorbs is the energy of the moment, not the words. And that's the thing. And so people, let's stay together for the kids. Well, your entanglement, they feel all that, and they will come up with life and respond to others based on what they have picked up feeling wise, not the words you say to them. Because we are energetic beings and we use words, but our real communication happens through our energetic fields. Proof. Here's an example for everybody. When somebody says to you, how are you? And you say, I'm fine. They're like, bullshit. No, you're not. How do I know that? How do I know that? The person told me I'm fine, but I know they're not. Because the truth is we're energetic beings. And we put out our electric, our magnetic all the time, pulsate out all the time. And that is our truth. I can't disguise that. Unlike my words I can manipulate to be anything I want. My energy just comes out of me. And so how I broadcast is how I am. And so you feel that. And so what we do sometimes is we see somebody, we have a feeling, but we're taught, oh no, ignore those things and be whatever. Don't ignore those things. I've learned, I've tried the polite thing, and in the end, I was always right. That initial reading that you have, believe that. That's tens of thousands of years of evolution of the energetic system. All your ancestors are there going, no, Dorian, don't do that. And then we go ahead and do it. So pay attention to those, what is happening with us, and those thoughts and those feelings. And so my thoughts create how I see the world. And those thoughts often are created by things people tell us. Oh, you're so good. You're such a good player. Oh, you're so positive. And then when somebody comes into their, and they get it all the time, when somebody comes into their life that says, oh, you're just average, it's just like, what do you mean I'm just average? My mom told me I'm special my whole life. And so my belief, I believe I'm special because somebody told me I'm special. The opposite happens. You're worthless. You're no good. You're bad. You're terrible. And oftentimes people use those words that you are bad, you are terrible, you are thoughtless, instead of you did a bad thing. You had a bad thought. There's a substantial difference in the communication of who you are versus what we do. What we do is a result of what we're thinking. It's not who we are. And so those beliefs impact us. And as I go forward, I repeat those beliefs to myself again and again and again and again and again, minute by minute, hour by hour. And then you go further down the road in life. And I did a little calculation. So Joe Dispenza says 90% of the thoughts I have today, I had yesterday. I'm going to go to a lower number. If I have a thought of these things I hold on to, and they last a minute and a half, I have 10 of those an hour. I actually have a lot more, but if I have 10 of those an hour, what happens when I'm having thoughts of the past, I'm not present. So my meat suit is here and it will continue because it knows everything that you like. It'll keep on going. But your divine being is back there on that thought of the thing that happened to you. And so the time that I'm sitting here thinking about the past, I'm not recording any new experience. And so my collective, my life is running short. It's like pause, nothing's happening till I come back. And then I pick up recording life events. And so what happens with just 10 thoughts an hour, in 1 year, I've been gone 3.5 months. If I'm awake for 16 hours a day, 3.5 months of the year, I'm not here. Imagine being locked in a room for 3.5 months of the year. You've got 8.5 months of the year left. And as the time goes by faster and faster as we get older, I figured it out because I have more shit that I think about. I have more things I hold on to. I have more regrets, recriminations, more stuff that I hold on to. And so my 10 thoughts is now 100 thoughts. And so my 15 minutes a day is 45 minutes a day. And so at the end of the year, when I'm 65 years old, 9 months of my year are spent living in the past. And so I only have 3 months of time to live. So I make it go by faster because I'm not here. Being present matters.
I mean, we were talking before, it's about we've got to be proactive in our lives. And if that being proactive is being negative and holding on to all the stuff that has hurt, it's just like that doesn't help us. That's a negative proactive. But it's okay, how can we be proactive in releasing it, acknowledging it and releasing it? So
that's the key.
Have you got any suggestions?
I do.
Most people say let go. The thing is, it's release it. Just let it go. Just let it go. Release it. It's, for me, releasing is giving it the freedom to go or stay. But if there's something or somebody that you feel it's really important to release, or there's a struggle you're going through, release it. We've got stuff going on here, right here at the moment, not in the country, in this house. I've released it. I've just said, okay, universe, I'm trusting you.
Right. That's the thing. Trust the universe.
Because otherwise, sleepless nights, all sorts of things could be going on. If I don't release it and I'll say to the universe, yeah, fine. And I said this years ago before we bought this house, so that we've had this nearly 21 years. And I was stood up in my other little house, and I don't hear voices, I don't see things, don't do things like that. But suddenly the words in my head were time to move on. I just resigned from my job. And it was just like, what? What are you telling me? I have no clue. I said, am I meant to move? If I'm meant to move, where am I meant to move? What am I meant to do? What are you saying to me? And I just said, you bring it, I'll do it. And it did. Yeah. It bought us this house. We didn't buy it for us. But,
right.
But sometimes it's being patient and being open to what comes. But there's also that element of then having to be proactive to make it happen.
Sure. So, again, the energetic being, if I'm holding all my thoughts of the past, I'm going to be reactive to my life. I'm not present. And so my meat suit knows how I like my coffee. It knows how I like to go out. It knows what I want to do. It knows how I like to have my dates or whatever. And so its job is to get you through. And so I can choose to be present in my life or not. And I can still get all the way through. And so what happens is people get caught up in the things of their life, and they have these experiences and their beliefs, and they hold on to those things, and they keep going with them, and they hold on to them. And so it occupies all of their time. And so they can't be present because there's not enough hours in the day for that. So what happens is we keep reliving the things of the past. And why I keep reliving those things is I don't have resolution. And all of those things, all of those negative things that I hold right here in my heart. And my heart doesn't want that. And so it keeps sending the thoughts up to the vagus nerve, and you have this old memory of this thing, and then I ruminate again. And it's just like, please resolve this time. Please this time do something about it. And it keeps saying it, so we keep having these thoughts again until you go, wait a minute. I'm responsible for that. I've chosen to see that way. It doesn't have to be that way. I don't need to hold on to that energy. And if somebody did something to me, it's a function of who they are, not who I am. The things that people say about me is a function of who they are, not who I am. And people believe the things that others say about them instead of knowing who they are. And finding out who I am has been the journey of my life. Because I was a bit of a lost soul for a long time. And I had no idea who I was. And so I kept trying to run my life and make things happen. And I want things to be this way. And they never turned out that way. Because what happens is something comes up and the divine light says, Dorian, this would work for you. And we pick B, C, D or number 422, any one of the other alternatives. I pick that. It doesn't turn out like I thought it would. No surprise. It's always that way. But I knew if I did this works for me. And then people do the other thing, and then they feel all this guilt and shame, particularly if they're personal or sexual things. They feel all this weirdness and remorse and guilt and shame. But what I learned, I don't feel shame or regret for anything in my life, because all those bad decisions were actually really good decisions, because they taught me who I am. Yeah. Like, I use my cup of coffee example that I use all the time. If I hear about coffee, I see coffee, I see people drinking it, I can smell it and all that stuff, I don't know what it tastes like until my meat suit engages. As soon as I take a sip, I now know what coffee tastes like. And I never have to have coffee again, because I know what it tastes like. If I do it again and again and again, then I have wisdom about coffee. Is this true all the time? So knowledge versus wisdom. Repeat it again and again over time. So when I have those experiences, I then know. And so all these other choices that we make, I think I'll like this. I think this is good. Oh, I want to try this. And I go and I do that, and I have a negative response. And so we capitalize on that. We put it in that I'm not good enough, I'm bad, and I keep thinking about it. The truth is, after I tasted coffee, I realized I don't like coffee at all. So that teaches me who I am. And so all those decisions that we make that are bad decisions, they actually are good decisions, because you now know this is not who I am. By learning who I am not teaches me who I am. And so I've learned from one of my shamans to release all guilt I have about the decisions of things in my life, because all I do is beat myself up and keep my energetic frequency in a negative state. And so I don't do that anymore. I don't beat myself up about those decisions. And so I learned forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. The secret to peace is a quiet mind. The secret to a quiet mind is forgiveness. Because all those things I think about are all things I'm holding against other people. And they're all my perceptions. Some are real. Somebody did a bad thing to me that is real. Oh, you looked at me funny, you've had bad thoughts. Probably not real, but just my thoughts about things. And so how I perceive that creates my reality. So if I choose to let go, it goes away. And so one of the shaman that I work with on the forgiveness thing, Nuri, God bless you, she had told me, because when I got through the abuse stuff in my life, I thought, okay, well, I'm cured. I kept having these things. And she said, well, you feel like you're cured because you got the big thing out of the way, but there's a whole mountain underneath that structure. And so the advice she gave me is, you'll know what to forgive because the thought will come to your mind. When you have the memory of you doing something or something happening to you, do this. Whatever age you're at, Dorian, 12-year-old Dorian, dude, you're going to be okay. I'm here at 66, remembering you then. You're going to be okay. Other, I forgive and release you forever. That simple act, said out loud, changes the energetic connection amazingly. And I did this. I laid in bed one day with a piece of moldavite, and I had this, I'm going to do this ritual. And the thoughts kept popping up. And it's like I'm sitting in the IMAX theater watching my life. And these things are coming by, and I'm seeing them, and I'm doing my thing, saying, Dorian, you're going to be okay. I remember you. I'm remembering you here today. Other, I forgive you. And there are things in my life that I had forgotten about, like brother trying to drown me when I'm 7 years old and he's 20-something. I know it's not all that fury stuff. And there are other events of life. And so what happened when I finished that, it was about an hour and a half. And I felt like I lost 1,000 pounds. I got up and I didn't feel like my feet were touching the ground. I was so light of spirit and energy. It was so profound that, and I have total control over that. And so one of the things I learned, it's my show. I'm the writer. I'm the producer. I'm the director. I'm the star. I'm the caterer. I'm the stage manager. Hello, Dawn. I'm the stage manager. I'm props. I'm the janitor. It's my show. If I don't like the choreography, change the dance, my friend. If you don't like the tune, sing a different tune. If you don't like the cast, find another crew. 100% in your power. 100% in your power. People give up that power freely, willingly, and they let other people make their decisions. And then they blame other people for those decisions. But actually, it was their decision because they chose to let go along with the other person's thing. Oh, you made me feel this. Here's another good one. Oh, you made me feel whatever. Fact, you can't make me feel anything. I make me feel. I make me feel everything. Everything comes from here out, not to me. So I make me feel. And so the words you say trigger my thoughts and my fears, and that makes me feel a certain way. Not you. My thoughts, my memories of my experiences make me feel the way I feel. Not you. And people use that manipulatively, but blaming other people for how they feel. And then it makes the other person feel bad. But the truth is, I make me feel everything. You don't make me feel anything. It all comes from me.
Projection. Blame is like sort of somebody.
It's easy
onto you. Don't take it on board. Somebody. You've done something you thought was nice for somebody. It's how they feel. It's got nothing to do with you.
What was your motivation?
It's so stop taking. But being the people pleaser, and I spent so many years as a people pleaser. And I remember, and I was so afraid of what other people thought about me. And living in that fear, that's draining.
It is exhausting.
And I remember I'd had my life quake, my wake-up call. I'd sort of broken up my marriage. The job was going as well, sort of. And I stood in the kitchen, and the thought hit me, why am I worrying about what other people think about me when they're not?
Right.
And I literally felt the weight lift off my shoulders. It was, as you said you did that, it was like seconds. It wasn't even necessarily minutes. It was just like seconds. The thought hit and the reality of that thought. Because who am I to think that everybody else is thinking about me? They're worrying about what's going on in their own lives. They might even be worrying about what I'm thinking about them when I'm not either. So it's just
and how we get it so wrong is our reaction is based on thoughts we think other people are thinking. Yes. Where's the chain of evidence there? I think you're thinking this, so I'm reacting to a thought I think you're having, of which I can have no knowledge. Ever. I can never know that for sure. But I'll respond to that like it's written in stone.
and we're so good at doing that. And
we're conditioned to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Because as children, we are being told what to do, how to be, etc., by our parents, our teachers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and
right.
And
all of those things they tell us are based on their fears and their background and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's also what they've experienced, they've witnessed.
Right.
Sort of just recently, I know this is about your book. I am absolutely about that. But just recently, I participated in another book, and it ended up by me talking to Mum and asking her about her life. And she talked about my grandmother and going through the Second World War. And it was starting to learn about people and their experiences and how those experiences could have shaped them.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so it's when people start being funny, whatever when I'm not talking funny, either. But when people start with something, it's just maybe we ought to be that devil's advocate. What's going on for them? Because that means we're not taking on board what they're potentially projecting onto us.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't take on anybody's stuff anymore. I used to care what people think about me. I don't care what anybody thinks. There's one opinion that matters in the world. Everybody out there watching, there's one opinion, yours. Solamente. Nobody else's opinion matters about anything at all about your life. Again, your show. Believe in you and you'll be great. Believe in what you think other people believe about you and you'll be lost forever.
Yeah.
Because people don't think about you all the time like you think that they do. They don't. They got all this stuff going on. They don't. But in our need to feel pity or to feel less than, and particularly when we're in that negative vibrational state, there's food keeps my body going, but the energy of life is my thoughts and my feelings. How I think and feel about myself and the world creates the energy of my life. I can eat food all I want and die shortly. My thoughts and my feelings create how my life actually goes. There's the scientific study done by Joe Dispenza that shows when I have negative thoughts, I'm literally killing myself. The telomeres on your DNA shrink as I have negative thoughts. You age with negative thoughts. When you have positive thoughts, you young. You don't age. Your telomeres actually grow longer, and you genetically become younger by positive thoughts and feelings. And I thought, well, this is crazy. It's real. I had my own lived experience with this. I was in a house, a friend was visiting, and I had a book that I had out, and there was a story done about my family from 15 years ago now. And there's a big picture of me in there. And so I showed it to the friend, and he said, "Oh, who's that?" I said, "It's me." And he said, "No, that's going to be your dad." And I said, "No, that's me." And he's like, "There's no way." And I'm like, "That's totally me." And I didn't get it. So I went, this is after being here for a year in meditation and all this stuff. I went to the bathroom, I held up the book. I went, "Oh my God." The difference in the images, I look 20 years older in the image that is 5 years older. So how I think and feel about me has a huge, huge impact in that. And the more positive thoughts and feelings I have, the higher I am. And when I have a lot of them, my cup is full and my energy is going out. And so I have that experience now that I'm in this wonderful state. Like I go down the street and people will smile at me and have these random conversations that never used to happen before. But I'm up, I'm happy, I'm full. Before, you're down and out and you don't really interact with people that way. And one of the beautiful things I experience here at my hotel in the retreat work is seeing that transition in people. And I see people come here that are down and think less of themselves and the world. And when they understand, wait, it's my life, it's my show, I'm in charge. And it's as hard or easy as I want. And so, and it's all about forgiveness. And then people say, well, I can't forgive. When I say I can't forgive, you will never forgive. You will go to your death not forgiving because I said, I can't. The I am is the most powerful phrase in the world. When I say I am, happens like that. Example, say my face is already, before I get the M out in mad, I'm already experiencing because I said I am. When I say I can't, I've told my body and the universe, not happening. What? No me gusta aquí. So not going to happen. But so long as I say I don't have that thought, then things can happen. When I have that perspective of the world of what is possible, then things can happen. But when I think negative, they can't. And so what happens when people are really negative, they're not generating life force. And so they come up to you and they come within this distance and they stand close to you and touch you and say, Sara, you wouldn't believe what happened to me today. I'm minding my own business. This guy comes over, he sits down next to me and he's telling me all blah, 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 blah. And then they tell you all the negative stuff in their life. So what they're actually doing is on an energetic level, they're soul vampires. They can't create life force that they must have. They have negative thoughts and negative feelings about themselves and the world, so they don't generate life force. So they go to the filling station to people like you and me that are positive and sit there and they draw the energy. And then when they leave, you're exhausted. You're exhausted. And the truth is you are exhausted because they just soul vampired all of your energy from you. Yeah. And so I learned. So I do this in a conversation with somebody that's negative. I just walk back and forth in my conversation until I get out of the zone because I work too hard for my precious energy. I'm not going to give it away to somebody who just wants to suck the energy out of me because they choose to not live differently. All the stuff in my life is a choice. And I think, oh, like forgiveness is hard. That's a choice. If I choose to say forgiveness is hard, I have chosen hard. The universe didn't say, Dorian, this is hard. No, I have chosen hard. If I can just as easily choose easy, and easy it will be. I can't forgive. Well, then you're not going to ever forgive, and you will live with suffering forever. You will carry that with you, and that adds interest by the moment, not annually compound, momentarily compounding, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger over your lifetime. And so that's the thing. Life is the choices of life are as easy or as hard as I choose them to be. The choice is the choice, which is a funny way to put it, but it is. How I'm going to be about my life is my choice. And so long as I choose to see the good in the world, ooh la la, I'm going to see good in the world. I'm going to see the hummingbird that just flew by me. I'm going to see those things around me. I'm going to see the beauty and the wonder and the thousands of different shapes of leaves and the color and the smell of the air. And I'm going to experience that. Otherwise, I'm going to go through life like this. Yeah. Not taking any of the beauty of the world around me. And I learned the point of life is to have experience. Experience is what I take with me. Not my money, not my car, not my family, not my jewels. Experience. It's all energy. And so my experiences I store in the energy of my being. And I can control the quality of that. and my mixed energy, we're all divine beings. The good, the bad, and the ugly of us are all the same divine beings. We just had different paths in life. In the end, we all go back to the same place. Yeah. We're all going to go back to that same place. And so choosing to live life honestly and presently is the greatest gift you can do. And the greatest act of self-love is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not something that we do for other people. Forgiveness is something we do for us, for our own peace of mind and peace in our heart. And I learned that forgiveness is so powerful because when I say I am, so I describe myself as an adult survivor of child sexual abuse. And so I said, that's the window of I am. I'm nothing outside of here. This is who I am. And so my meat suit perceives everything through this. This is who he says he is. So let's just show him this. We're not going to show him any of this, just this. And so that's how I lived my life. And then I had this whole thing with forgiveness. And I was working with a woman who helped me with some integration with stuff with my dad. And the power of forgiveness is profound. And he is in the light now because of the choice to forgive and live my life of love. And the medium I was working with, she said, I see you in the water and I see you happy. She said, I don't know if this is when you were a boy or what. So I was back in the States and I went to Horseneck Beach. Shout out to everybody, Mass. I went to Horseneck Beach, where I would go, but never alone, ever in my life. I never was alone because bad things happened to me as a boy when I was alone. So I never wanted to be alone. I always wanted somebody with me. Didn't figure that out until I was 60, why I did that stuff. But anyway, so I'm at the beach. I decide I'm going to meditate. Okay, and there's thousands of people at the beach, and here's the old white-haired man sitting on the edge of the water meditating. And I had a wonderful meditation. I got up and I went in the water. And I jumped in, and it's where I learned to body surf and teach my boys how to body surf. And then this wave came. And I rode this wave, and it was just the most perfect wave ever. And I'm just going. And so long, and I got to let out all my air. And when I got up, I was just so full of joy. It was such a fun ride. And I threw all this water up in the air. And all the memories of my life came back to me. In that moment, when I stood there looking at the beach, all these thoughts and things of my life came back in. For 40-something years, I never had any of these thoughts. Because I labeled myself as I'm an adult survivor of child sexual abuse. And so My thoughts in my life were around that, not any of the other things in my life. And so I learned when I say I am something, the meat suit controls how you experience life under all those labels that I give myself. It also controls what you're able to remember of your past. It will only let you, from my lived experiences, I could only remember the things that fit the description of who I said I was. And so what I learned, or I was guided to and learned, I'm a divine being having experience. That's who I am. I'm going to put no more label on me than that. Because as soon as I say I'm this, it precludes everything else. And the truth is we are divine beings, capable of everything. And so the I ams can be your limiters. And the labels that I put on myself absolutely limit the thoughts that I am allowed to think about myself and how I experience the world and what I can see and think and believe about other people.
Yeah, 100%. You talked about special earlier, and I just think, and somebody said to one of my clients one day, said to me, "Oh, Sarah, you are special." And I said, "I know." But she knew me well enough to know that there was no conceit in that, because she knows my thoughts are everybody is special in their own unique way.
Every one of us is unique. There's no other Dorian. There's no other Sara.
Nope. And the world wouldn't want another me. No, it is. But Dorian, this has been excellent. We're coming to the close of the program. Is there anything that we Don's just written, obviously take me some time to do that. Right. Don says, I have known Dorian for 23 plus years. We met each other at 2 years old. Well, it is 23 plus years then, isn't it? We met each other at 2 years old. I hadn't seen Dorian for quite a few years, only in passing in Provincetown. About a year ago, we were able to connect, invited to my home for dinner. We talked and talked, and this dinner was with a totally different person I knew years ago, happy and positive. During this time, I felt like I had my own one-on-one personalized therapy session. For that, I thank you, Dorian.
Oh, Dawn, I love you, my friend. Yeah.
So is there anything that we haven't touched on that you would like to share?
Stillness. We're so busy with so many things in our life. We go all the time. And when I'm not with you, when I'm not on my phone, I'm not here, I'm there, I'm doing something, and then I'm in bed and I wake up to my phone, all this stuff. Stillness matters. Spirit speaks to you, and you want to connect to God in the universe, be quiet. You want to feel the energy of the universe, go sit in the jungle, sit amongst the trees, watch the monkeys go overhead, and just forget your devices and just be present and just feel the energy around you. Plants? Okay. So I'm blessed. I'm in the jungle, and boy, have I got plants here. And the energy in the jungle of life around plants are here to provide energy and healing to humans. You go, and the energy that they give off is just amazing. Nature is very healing. Spending time in nature is really, really, really healing. And so taking time to be by yourself is a beautiful thing. But don't sit and ruminate about your thoughts. Be present. And if I can't, how do I be present? Here's a trick. Look at your finger and count the lines in your fingerprints, or look at the leaves around you and try to imagine how many leaves there are, or look at wonder of something. Okay. Here's an example. Got this bottle. Thank you, Eric. I'm now hydrating properly because I got my Nalgene bottle. Okay. I got this bottle. Do you know millions of people went into this bottle getting to me somebody had to have the idea, somebody had to extract the elements from the earth, somebody had to make the machinery and the equipment to extract that stuff from the earth. They had to transport it from the earth to a place. Somebody had to make the building that it's going to be produced in. Somebody has to make the equipment to extract it, do all that stuff, and then somebody has to make it, and somebody has to paint it, and somebody has to ship it, and all that stuff. And all these people, there's all these things that go for the wonder of me having this little bottle here. And I just take granted this bottle. But if anything you can think about with wonder, okay, nobody gets into heaven without looking at the world through the eyes of a child. Wonder. You can look at anything with wonder and figure out, how did this come to be? And take it all the way back to beginning of time of that thing. Where did the elements come from, and how did they come together, and how do we get there? And you can spend a lot of time, and then you're just like, wow, I got this really cool bottle. And said, I got a bottle. It's how I try to look at all of those kind of things that way. And I would like to make a plug for my book, Awaken to Life in the Meat Suit. It's the story of my journey. And it's written to create, I got distracted. I wrote this inspirationally to help people find their way. And it's written for everybody that's had trauma in their life or had difficult things. If you suffered abuse or anything at the hands of another, this is for you. So I believe this will help you find your way to peace in your life. It will show you, my story is to show you a way. It's examples, it's my life in the jungle, it's the revelations I have, it's the amazing miraculous things that happen to me. And I produce this to be an inspiration to people and to help them find their way and to see the light, and to see that they are divine light.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dorian, so much for being here. It has been a pleasure as always.
It's wonderful talking with you, Sarah. Every time it's wonderful.
It really is. Thank you. Folks, I have put Dorian's websites. One is Awaken. To
Life in the Meat Suit?
Yeah, sorry. I was looking at it and I was thinking, I can't see the two there. Was it? Yeah. Awaken to Life in the Meat Suit.com. And then obviously to do with your retreat. So
people come to the hotel at the Chornotega Hotel.
Yeah.
I just had a guest who read my book and came and stayed for a week in the hotel to experience it. And what a profound experience. So if you're looking for a wonderful vacation in paradise, come on down to the Chornotega Hotel. We're not very expensive, and you will leave different people. I guarantee you that.
So folks, please, if you're watching this on YouTube, you will find Dorian's information beneath the websites, beneath the video. Please, if anything here is spoken to you, check the websites out. And if you want to contact Dorian, do. That's why we share these. This is why we do these programs, to share information and to support you to find what we've found.
Yeah. And you want to talk? Right. You need to have a conversation with somebody. I'm here. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can find me by my name. You can find the hotel. You can give me a call. I'm here to share my experience to help you have a better day and to understand your life and your journey. So when your vibration goes up, everybody in your circle will understand and their vibration will go up. It's about the collective, because if we can all just raise our vibration a little bit, we can manifest different people in our lives. We can manifest different political leaders. We can manifest different political situations. We can manifest a different life for everybody. But it's about the collective thoughts.
And so thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. Next week's, folks, we've got a today's conversation. And this title really fascinates me. Perspective from the front porch of the Milky Way.
I like that title. It's curious.
So I'm looking forward to that. So if you feel drawn to join us, please do. It's always free to sign up and it's always free to watch. Dorian, it's been a pleasure.
Igualmente, mi amiga.
Be safe.
Spanish. That was reflexive even. Thank you, my friend.
Take care. Namaste, sweet soul. Bye.
Bye. Ciao.